we're in a world that is ever more chaotic. And for most, that correlates with an ever more chaotic consciousness. And by chaotic, a sense that varies with every individual, but a consciousness that is emotionally not entirely stable, that has dissociated fragments that see things in contradictory ways, and there isn't a consistent sense of objectivity or even subjectivity. And very often a sense of weakness, neediness, and of a kind of self-assessment of unworthiness that brings one down to very low vibrational frequencies and causes one to create or sustain or increase your karmic attachments to the phenomenal plane in order to feel more secure or more safe in a very unsafe world, rather than taking refuge with the Lord, with the supreme level of consciousness for your salvation, but holding on to lower levels of temporary forms of illusory security rather than the only true secure abode and redemptive center of consciousness that is true, that is real, and that is unfailing. So that's the light that we must reach at the end of whatever tunnel we might be in. Or perhaps we have completed the dark night of the soul and we're already abiding in the world of light and basking in the light of God and transmitting that joy of having attained the real self. And so we are at the end of the age, or very near it. And those of you who have studied religions, and probably everyone here and probably everyone on the live stream has had interest in the world's spiritual traditions. I don't know of one that has not prophesied that there will be an end of time, a messianic age, the apocalypse, the hour of truth, the moment of the return of God to the world, the second coming of Christ, the first coming of the Mahdi, the last coming of Vishnu, whatever is the chosen avataric strain that you find most persuasive, but they are all saying the same thing. And they say the sign that you will know that you're in that time is the world will have gone mad, the societies will be coming apart, will be filled with perversion and psychopathic leaders or rulers and evil, arbitrary laws that are actually producing genocidal attacks on the populations and other destructive tendencies that are enslaving the consciousness to the big other out there and to the lowest level of coherence internally. So there's mind control attacks that are subjectively affecting us. It affects us through electromagnetic pulses and energy fields. It affects us through disinformation and the energies one gets from the internet and from films that are being made these days. All of the messages that we are getting are used propagandistically to control your consciousness and keep it holding on to various prejudices and preconceptions, assumptions, beliefs, etc., that hold you in a state of powerlessness, helplessness, stupidity, denial, and inability to cope with the reality of what is happening within the phenomenal plane, and a lack of attunement to what is happening at the higher planes. How many can relate to that situation? Yeah, most of you can. I'm not talking about some foreign world. Most people can recognize that this is the kind of thing that's happening, yes? So most people who wouldn't be here if you weren't out of denial to at least that level of political awakening, social awakening. But I'm not interested in that in this retreat, okay? So let's all stipulate that we recognize what's going on in the phenomenal plane. We are way past worrying about the future. You can't plan the future anymore. Is there anyone who believes you can plan your future? You know? Can you even trust that your money will be worth anything in a short time? Or that the country you might think you belong to will even exist? You know, if not a civil war, then a nuclear war, or a plague of some kind, or an invasion, or whatever. But we see everything coming apart in every possible way that it could come apart. And that includes not only the political tyranny and the not only stupidity, but the deliberate self-destruction of the environment and of the human capacity to sustain our collective existence, all being taken from us, stolen. So what kind of future is there? You see, and how much in control are you of it at the level of the ego? If you're still in that mode of consciousness, then, you know, the ego will either be in massive denial, or it will be in massive anxiety or despair, or some worse kind of mental disorder to escape seeing, knowing, feeling the horror of a zombie apocalypse and becoming part of it. So all of that is prologue that I want to get out of the way, because that's not the focus of this retreat. However, that's probably what has contributed to your being interested in coming to an ashram like this, or coming to a retreat like this, and receiving information of the kind that I intend to offer you in this class and the ones that will follow. Can you erase what's on the board? I want to write something else. As I was preparing for this retreat, for the nature of how to escape being a victim of the matrix, how to escape fear. This is not about fear-mongering. Some will accuse me of that, but what I want to help everyone reach is a state not only of fearlessness, but of the recognition that the time we are in is the most auspicious period in all of human history, if we know how to take advantage of it. Okay? And so, although most people refer to it as the end of days, as the Eschaton, as the, Terence McKenna's version, the transcendental object at the end of time, or any of the many different terms for the ultimate revelation and redemption that is on our itinerary for our consciousness, a collective universal redemption, by the way. So no one has anything to worry about. No one will be left behind. It's not that you have to belong to a particular religious group and only those will be saved and the rest damned. No, it's not like that. All souls, all are equally beings of the same divine nature. So there is no differentiation in the sense that all will return to that supreme supernal light and the blissful energy field of the eternal self. All will, regardless of the karmic situation or the belief system or the level of consciousness, none of that will matter, although those particularities will determine the pathway that must be taken by consciousness to get to the light. It may have to go through different bardo states for cleansing, purification, after the death of the body, if that isn't done voluntarily while the body is alive. But everything will have to be cleansed, right? Purified in order to return to the luminous presence of God, and all will be purified and absorbed into the Godhead, right? So in a certain sense, it is not important whether you do sadhana or not. It's not important from that place of the ultimate roundup into the singularity that is going to occur. But the function of one's soul in these final days will determine the relationship to God and to the world and to time and space in terms of the continuity of the circle of time that after the end will find itself in a new beginning. However,